on the far side of town, sharing a dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights, making up a bar queen on the phone in the great big boulevard, the place she belongs. It's just another story she tells. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights, through Hollywood nights, through Hollywood nights. You always looked after me, brother, when we were children. You always had my back. You took all the blame when our father caught us doing things that drove him mad. Through the years I could lean on you when I messed up. I'd call you in the night, but I broke too many promises and we split up. Though I still need ya, you gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I can use your helping hand tonight. I wanna say that I'm sorry, I got sidetracked and I left you in the cold. I've seen your side of the story, I felt the drawback. My mistake took its toll. Finally, I have realized I was dead wrong. I wasn't thinking straight. No more lies, and from here on out I'll be better, 'cause I still need ya. You gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your filters, BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart, it's the heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another night, Thursday night edition of The Heart of a Villain. Today is Thursday, the 16th of June. Boys and girls, can you believe that? The 16th of June. This is episode 139 of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over this world. Yeah, we're going to get a little closer in here tonight. We're going to talk about some of the things that we've experienced in the last week. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about the Great Lakes Meet that's coming up this weekend in Stillwater, Minnesota. Been talking about it for a little while now. It'd be nice to have the Great Lakes Meet back. One of those great little regional meets. It's always fun times. I've seen pictures of how awesome it's the picturesque setting up there in Stillwater, and our guest that we're going to be hearing from a little later tonight, Weirdo, the lieutenant up there in Minnesota, has talked very highly about how beautiful it is, and so everybody that is going this weekend to the Great Lakes Meet should be very excited. Good times. You can hear some good stuff coming up in his interview. And when I say that, when I say everyone that is planning on going to the Great Lakes Meet this year, you know what? I can now officially say I am including myself in that. That's right. That's right. I found a way, and it's going to happen. Tomorrow, I'm leaving tomorrow morning, headed north for the Great Lakes Meet. I'm looking forward to it. Didn't know up until just this week if I was going to be able to make it fit in or not. And, well, what it comes down to, guys, is I have a very, very, very understanding and awesome wife who says, she supports everything that we do here with our chapter, with BV, and my desire to support all the chapters that I can around with their different events. So, yeah. So she said, yes, go ahead. Fresh off me coming back after last weekend being gone at Knox Villains. So I'm very, very lucky. But guys, we're in the middle of, if you're in the Midwest here, I don't know what other parts of the country, because I don't pay attention to everybody's map, but we've been in the process of a heat wave the last couple of days, kind of thing where you just want to stay inside or do indoor activities. But I will say that my garden looks nice outside. I don't know. Anybody else out there? Gardeners? My hope this year is that I'll actually be able to collect and stay up with the garden. Last year, it got so crazy ahead of me. I don't think we even got to anything before it rotted. It was a bad garden year. I had some really good stuff looking out there, but I never got around to picking it before it died. And so this year, planted much less. It's not nearly as crowded, and looking forward to it. But hey, you guys don't want to hear about that. You don't want to hear about the garden stuff. I want to say that I want to give a shout out. Now, I reached out as things are. It's kind of crazy this time of year. right after one of these larger regional events. When you have like Villain Fest 5, we just talked about last week, Knox Villains talked about last week, and the West Coast meet. I like to try and reach out to the chapters for kind of an update. How did the weekend go? Not necessarily to do a follow-up interview, but just kind of get a word of mouth, how the weekend went. If they were raising monies specifically for charity purposes, how did that part of it go? So we can celebrate the successes and did anything really super cool, fun, unique happen during the weekend. We can just celebrate, being together and celebrate the weekends that were. So I reached out, and unfortunately right now I have yet to hear back getting, even approximate numbers on charity donation stuff coming back from the West Coast meet and from Villain Fest 5. However, I will say that Knox Villains, the one I was at, and in no part because of me, I just paid the beard competition fee. All the prizes and the raffle of the auction items went for much more than I was able to spend. So, but that is a big plus for the charity purposes. And as it looks right now, I've been told that the Knox Villains event looks to have raised approximately $12,000 for the Autism Society of East Tennessee. So just badass, awesome to see. I know that everybody that was there had a great time. The pictures are awesome. It was just another amazing Knox Villains weekend. So kudos, congrats to everybody that was in attendance and participated in some way, shape, or form in Knox Villains weekend, helping to raise that approximately $12,000. I will get back to you guys on hearing back from all the participants at the West Coast meet, and then also from Villain Fest 5, so we can pass that around. I will also say a big shout out. I don't have a slide up for this because I just actually saw it when the countdown timer stuff was going on here. But a big shout out to BVC, Beardville in Chicago, because they also I believe it was last weekend, also had their ACS, their American Cancer Society, walk and roll up in Chicago. And because of a variety of things, they took it. They did a very interesting thing this year. I can't remember honestly if they've done it in the past this way or not. But you know what? It's a unique approach, and probably something that I think maybe we should, maybe some of us should try to copy. Sorry, Chicago. But they actually held a couple of other events in the weeks and month and a half leading up to the Cancer Walk to raise a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. And in total, when all came around, they raised over $5,000 for ACS, for American Cancer Society. So another big shout out to Chicago for a successful event again. Always great to see. This is, these are the things that I love to celebrate. The times when our brothers are able to get out there, and in many cases now, you're talking about not just brothers. You're talking these large events. You're talking about the brothers. You're talking about the queens and the villainettes and any other family members that are out there supporting us with what we do. And when I say that, it's important that we recognize it's not just the support we're getting from family who's with us in attendance. For me, my wife wasn't able to make it, but it's the support that I'm getting by allowing, by making it okay for me to go, by supporting my efforts and my desire to go to an event like that. So, and then while I'm away, she's having to be single parent for the weekend. So, and I know I'm not unique in a situation like that. Some people are able to bring their families with, and it's an awesome weekend of family time. Others are not, and they have to leave a spouse, significant other, children at home when they come to that. So it's important that we recognize and also say thank you to all of those people in our lives that give us the opportunity to attend these events, that give us the opportunity to help in some small way affect change in somebody else's life down the road. And the cool part about this is that not only are these events, and we're talking about the smaller things, or even just the ones that are not formal regional events. Bearded Villains Indiana, BVIN, celebrated their 7-year anniversary this week, or this past weekend. And I know they had a big get together with some guys from other chapters came up as well. And it was just a good time of brotherhood. Anytime we're able to celebrate brotherhood, and anytime we're able to do these kinds of things, to celebrate the connections, the closeness, the family that we have within the Bearded Villain community. And also, if there's even some small way of being able to give back to a community, to an organization, it just makes that even all the more meaningful. And so congratulations to everybody who's been doing this stuff recently. I know we have a whole bunch more events coming up, and I'm going to use this again as a chance to say, if you have an event coming up, even if it's a small little walk you're doing, my chapter's doing a walk a week from this week, and we're doing a cancer walk, Relay for Life walk. It's usually a very somewhat small event, considering what some of the amounts that are being raised, for some of these events. But, in some small way, you're still helping out. And even the little things that you're doing, even if it's a smaller amount than, not everybody's going to raise $12,000. Not everybody's going to raise $5,000. Sometimes you may only raise a few $100s, but that few $100s is that much more than what was given elsewhere or otherwise without your help. So I know that in the past, I've heard from some people say, well, it's, we don't like to, talk about what we're doing because it's only this little thing and we're only raising a few $100s. So what? You're getting out there, you're spreading the name, and you're spreading some sort of joy and goodwill in the name of BV, in the name of your chapter, in your efforts to help somebody else's life and help make somebody else's life better. And that's what we do this stuff for. So if your chapter's doing something, please let me know. I want to be able to celebrate that stuff. Even if you consider it to be a small victory, it's huge. It's huge. Not everybody can host these big events. The smaller chapters still do stuff, and I want to hear about them. Too often, though, I don't hear from some of our smaller chapters in size, not because they're less significant by any means, but as we find out, down the road sometime, you find out that this chapter had these 3 really cool, charity organization drives. They did these three really cool things in their community. How amazing is that? It's incredible. So there is no small deed. There is no small benefit. There's no small event that you or your chapter is taking part in. So please don't belittle it. Please don't prevent us from recognizing the fact that you're out there doing stuff, because it's about the community as a whole. So it seems like every few weeks I have to say something like that, because I do. I hear the comments. I hear people, say things about, well, it's really not that big of a deal. Well, but it is. You don't see it that way. But a lot of times, folks, we can't see the ripples, right? We've talked about these ripples before many, many times. This is episode 139. I've been doing the live streams here since episode 25. So 114 of these things. Now, over 2 years, we've been doing this live on either a Friday or a Saturday night, or either on Friday or a Thursday night, with a few small exceptions. I've talked about this before, sometimes till I'm blue in the face, and I've probably turned people away, or, people have just kind of put their hand up and walked away from the screen or the speaker system or whatever they're listening to me on, or their iPhone. But it's these ripples, the cause and effect, the thing that you're doing is immeasurable. You will never know. The people that participated this weekend and participated in Knox Villains, $12,000. You'll never know. You'll never fully understand the reach that $12,000 gave to the Autism Society of East Tennessee. The guys in Chicago, another $5,000. They're always doing something. They will never, though, fully realize the reach that the monies and the effort that they put forth has on the effect of other people's lives. And that's the great thing about what we do. We do it, we move on, and we move on to the next thing. And then we come back around the next year, maybe do it again. But how amazing is it to think of you're doing this in many cases anonymously? Yeah, sure, they can look up and people know what organizations, and maybe even what people were there from organizations. But you're doing this stuff out of the goodness of your heart as part of the brotherhood that you're a part of, or the sisterhood, or whatever it is, those of you who are, non-villains. But it's an amazing, amazing thing. And we should never minimize the efforts and the types of things that we're doing for these charities. Big or small, you're touching lives, truly. So congratulations to everybody. All right. Now, I want to get into a little bit of merch because we've had a few new merch drops this week. Now, I will apologize. I have been running around like the proverbial chicken with my head cut off this week, doing a whole bunch of stuff. And if I missed, I know there's a few new things that came out, and I tried to keep track on Instagram or online when something else would come out. So if for some reason I'm missing some sort of a drop or merch drop or something like that you've done, hit me up and I'll make sure that I get it out in no time. If for some reason I'm missing it here in the live stream, let me know and I'll make sure, especially if it's something recent. Excuse me, I want to make sure I give credit where it's due. So, hey, without further ado, guys, we're already into the show a bit. So let's just get into our merch. Okay. So, like I said, there's been a few drops that were new, and there's a few that you'll recognize as of old. But some of these, as you know, I let things stay in the queue here for a few weeks, unless something changes. But if their date expires or if it's just been around for a little bit, you'll notice that it disappears after a little while because I can't promote everybody's everything all the time. So first up, this one was a new one just this past week, I believe. The Richmond Villains. They have their logo on just about every color shirt you could want. I don't see teal in here, but other than that, they got purple, they got sand or tan, they got Irish green, they got maroon, royal blue, red, and the OG black. So these are some really cool shirts. They range from $20 to $25. As I say, shirts, and more shirts. $20 to $25. They have their new chapter logo on the back of the shirt. And so some writing on the chest. I can't quite make out what it is, but I know it's really cool. I've seen it before. I just can't remember what it is. I think it's their letters. But bvrichmond.bigcartel.com is where you want to grab one of these. bvrichmond.bigcartel.com. And who doesn't need another BV shirt from a chapter, right? Support those who support you, right? So grab a hold of one of these things. bvrichmond.bigcartel.com is where you want to go for that guy. Next up on our list, you only have a few days left for this one. North Georgia Bearded Villains. North Georgia Bearded Villains, the Dog Days of Summer 2022 shirt. The Dog Days of Summer. This is available until June 19th. June 19th. They've got like an OD colored patch, their chapter patch, and then this pretty cool shirt. Says Operation Rally Point on it. You can get the shirt for $25 or the combo including the patch for $30. Sounds like a deal to me. Now, I don't know what sizes or anything like that. Just hit them up for further information. The North Georgia guys, I'm not sure what the sizes limitations are, if this price goes up or the size. If it doesn't, then this is a total steal. If the price is the same for all shirt sizes, if you're a big boy and you can get a big size, heck, jump all over this for that price for the shirt and a patch. Yeah, got to grab that. So North Georgia, grab one of those. Next up, this was first mentioned during the podcast, I think last week was when I first brought this up. The 3-Star Villains are raising money with a patch. If you recall, if you weren't there, you may not have known, but there was some word about it on Instagram. One of the long time supporters of BV, Renee, had a medical emergency, suffered at the anniversary party earlier this year for I believe it was Smoky Mountain, and at their anniversary event. And she has recovered, but unfortunately has large medical bills. So they're trying to help her out because of all the support she's given. This is a Renee Strong Warrior Heart Patch. And the Heart Warrior Patch for Renee is $13. It's available through the 3-Star Villains in Tennessee, their page. So 3starvillains.bigcartel.com. 3starvillains.bigcartel.com for the Heart Warrior patch for Renee. $13 is where you go for that one. Next up, we have, this is something I mentioned last week. I didn't have the exact location, timing, or anything like that on it, but I just kind of hinted at it. I have a location for you to go purchase said item now. The Bearded Villains Eastern Washington Pride Patch. This is a pre-sale. I do not have a date when it ends, but hey, great thing about that, if you want it, just get it before it runs out. Do it tonight, after the show, not now, after the show. So write this down, EWBV.bigcartel.com. EW for Eastern Washington BV, EWBV.bigcartel.com. $12, very cool, multicolored logo version of their patch. Good times. Way to go, Eastern Washington. That thing looks pretty sweet. $12. Grab a hold of one of those. As we're also talking about Pride patches, the Orlando chapter, they have one. It's only $10, including shipping. Wow. Okay, and this is a different take. It's kind of like, I think it has part of their X Factor in play here with the palm tree, but there are no letters in the X Factor, so it's just the multicolored logo or the X on it with the tree. Very cool. $10 shipping included. The Orlando Pride patch available at orlandovillains.org. orlandovillains.org. And then let's see. I also have, this one came out this week, the 3-Star, the Tennessee guys. Well, the whole state of Tennessee is getting together, boys. The whole state getting together for what they're calling a State United patch. This is the Smoky Mountain, Chattanooga, and 3-Star Villains all together for a squamous cell sarcoma awareness patch. Squamous cell sarcoma, carcinoma. See what happens when I'm trying to read things too quickly. Squamous cell carcinoma awareness patch. So one of the brothers, Brian, I believe, his wife is stricken with this, and they are trying to raise some money for some medical needs for her. And it's available at smokymtnvillains.bigcartel.com. smokymtnvillains.bigcartel.com. Only $12, brought to you by 3 different chapters coming together. Love that when that happens. So cool. A State United patch with the 3-Star Smoky Mountain Chattanooga chapters coming together. And then finally, this will be the last week I mentioned this guy. It's a new patch, but I don't know how many more of them are gone or going to be out there available. The first rendition, the very first Chattanooga Villains patch. I got mine handed to me directly from Mr. Ramsey himself this past weekend. I was holding off so I could get it handed to me directly. I love those. I think it means a little bit more when you can get it handed to you from somebody. SmokeyMTNVillains.com again. SmokeyMTNVillains.com. I'm sorry, not .com. As you can read, .bigcartel.com. SmokeyMTNVillains.bigcartel.com. $12 for the Chattanooga patch. And boys and girls, that's what I have for chapter merch this week. All right. Well, hey, we are back. And hopefully I didn't miss too much on the realm of merch for everybody. Chances are I probably did, so I'll apologize now. If I'm missing something, you know what I got to do? I got to jump in here real quick and say hi to all the people that are here live with us. I didn't get a chance to do that earlier, and Mars is in here making some fun comments, so I have to appreciate those for just a second here. So let's say hi to Mr. Frank and Beans. How you doing? Good to see you here. Mars is here. Evening, everybody. Mr. Andy Trent, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Mark Davis, the legend himself, is here hanging out with us as well. It's great seeing you again last weekend. The Rev is here. Much love and respect, everyone. Yes, that's right, sir. Hanging out with us. And Mr. Parsons, all the way down in Florida. Also, good to see him, Knoxvilleans, this past weekend. Great to see. And let's see. Mars is asking if anybody's coming to Bucko. We'll talk about that here coming up in just a little bit. July 8th through the 10th. And so if you're not in the comment section, I don't know you're here. So I do know there are a few people watching that are not here. Mr. J.D. Moore, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here. Mr. One Feather is also hanging out with us tonight. Good to see it. Donnie is here, hanging out with us as well. Good to see it. And Sheena's here. All right. Good to see it. All right, boys. So I just want to get into this weekend. As some of you know, this next weekend coming up tomorrow, actually, is the Great Lakes meet. Now, this is one of those weird regional meets because of timing, where it has sat in the middle of the summer months, the early summer months, sometimes late spring, early summer months. It's been hit and miss on who can attend this thing, and I talk a little bit about that in my interview here coming up with Mr. Weirdo. Love that name. But it's coming up this weekend. It's up in Stillwater, Minnesota, and they're doing this chapter's really because of COVID and everything else. They were supposed to have held this meet up once before, but unfortunately because of COVID and everything else going on in the world, they couldn't. So this is them, and this is going to be their chance to really kind of show off to the world, to host an event. And they're stoked. They're super excited about it. I'm excited to be going up there to see them, and it's going to be a good weekend. So if you want to just sit back, grab some popcorn, and enjoy my interview I took with I had earlier this week, talking about the Great Lakes meet coming up, and with their lieutenant from BV, Minnesota, Weirdo. Well, this weekend is the Great Lakes meet, and it's being held in Stillwater, Minnesota, hosted by the BV Minnesota boys. Here today to talk to us a little bit about what we can expect, the fun from the weekend ahead, everything that is the Great Lakes meet this weekend. With us here is Weirdo, the lieutenant from BV, Minnesota. Weirdo, how you doing today?
What's up, everybody? Doing great. Enjoying some sunshine, obviously. As you can see,
yes,
I'm a little
gleaming off that amazing beard.
Shiny.
Shiny. I need to get out in the sun for some of mine, I guess. Actually, I got too much sun on my way back home from the Knoxvilleans last weekend. For some reason, I chose to wear a sleeveless shirt on the drive home, and my arm up on the windowsill of the car, my entire upper arm got burnt to a bright red crisp on my way home.
So you got a farmer's tan.
I got real bad. Yeah, it's funny. I used to, maybe I'm just out of practice, because I used to get that, but with the short sleeve shirt. I used to get the sleeve, the short sleeve shirt arm tan.
Sure.
Every year, that the first part of the year, hanging my arm out the car door. But man, let's get out of that. So I'm recovering though. So I don't need a GoFundMe page for that one. But tell me a little bit about this. May be the first time anybody on the podcast or anything is hearing from you, and maybe they know a little bit about you. But tell us a little bit about you and Minnesota and how things are going up there.
I don't know. I guess about me. I've been, I guess, living the villain life since late 2018. Our chapter started in 2018, and I joined just a couple days after we got our chapter seal, actually. So, kind of, it kind of saved my life in a lot of ways. I was in a bad spot, and I heard about BV and Lumber, our current captain. He was a scout at the time, and he saw me on Instagram and reached out, and I looked into it and said, yeah, I want to be part of this, and it kind of helped pull me out of a dark spot, and here I am, loving life.
Wow. So, I mean, bearded villains. We say it can be life changing, but for you, truly, finding the bearded villains was that way for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you, I used to work in law enforcement. I was a corrections officer for 14 years, and I had an injury, an on-the-job injury, and then kind of at the same time, I went through a loss of a relationship, and it kind of put me in a spin. Started doing way too much drinking and partying and doing stupid things, and some legal trouble, and ended my career, and I was just in a bad place, and didn't have a lot of friends that were healthy friends, that did healthy things. They just I just followed them down the same path, and it was time for a change. And so I first actually heard about BV through a Facebook group. Sam Ellis, actually out of Oregon, BV Oregon, Ryder Roo's dad on Instagram. I was in a Facebook group, same group as him, and I kept seeing all his hashtags on his posts, and I said, what is this all about? And so I kind of looked into it, and I liked what it kind of stood for, and I looked into it. Minnesota at the time didn't have a chapter, and then it was about 6 months later when Lumber reached out to me as a scout and said, hey, you wanna do this? Absolutely. And I've met some of the best friends in life that I've ever had. Healthy adult grown-up relationships. A guy give you the shirt off your back first time they meet you. So it's been good.
That's incredible, man. Tell me a little bit. I mean, I know you said you came in to Minnesota after they reached out to you, but pretty soon after things really began there. But what's it? I mean, you guys are a little bit kind of secluded up there, a little ways. What's that been like? Trying to, do what you can, make a difference, like all the other BV chapters are doing, or trying to do anyway. I mean, you're talking coming out of COVID and everything else, but what's that been like up there?
It was a little hard, mostly the brotherhood aspect, not being able to get together with each other. That was tough on a lot of us. We missed each other incredibly. We truly are a family, not just us brothers, but our wives and girlfriends and our kids and everything. It's the whole family. So that part was hard, but we've always kind of done things on a little bit of a small scale. We look very locally when we do charity and volunteer things. So some of those things we were still able to do. Some of them we had to scale back, but we tried to focus more on the things we could do that weren't out in public. So we still, we do a wildlife conservation patch every year, and then we donate the funds from that to a local wildlife conservation facility. We do a highway cleanup every year. We do the red kettle bell ringing every year, and those are some of our yearly things. We had been doing the NAMI walk every year, but that's kind of been sidelined because of COVID. So that's tough. One of our bigger fundraising events of the year has been sidelined. So hopefully we'll be able to get back into that soon.
Yeah, and now you guys are taking on the Great Lakes meet. And it's funny because there's a strange kind of history, it seems like, with this meet, because sometimes it's one year it's a huge hit and a lot of people go, and then one year, just because of all the schedules and everything else and the timing and everything, it works out. It seems like it's a lot fewer people are able to get to it. But sounds like this year there's a bunch that are going to make it up there, and that's pretty cool. I mean, because you guys are up there a ways, so it's pretty cool that there's going to be a good group of people attending this year.
Yeah, kind of up here, removed from a lot of chapters, especially the bigger active chapters. South Wisconsin is not far away. North Wisconsin, some of their members actually live in Minnesota in the metro area. South Dakota is not incredibly far away, but outside of that, the bigger chapters are kind of a hike for most people. And you mentioned the scheduling issues. There are so many events now. There's a couple every weekend, it seems like. And now with the return of World Meet this year in Chicago, praise the Lord, finally.
Yes.
We kind of felt like we were up against the wall scheduling against that, because who's gonna, if you got to choose one, let's be honest, you're gonna go to the World Meet. So
right.
We put it far enough away from Worlds where we felt like we could get a decent turnout.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, generally speaking, it's never been a world, I mean, a huge meet as far as people from across the country. It's usually, being that it's a Great Lakes meet, it's always been kind of a regional thing anyway. But I think it's situated in just the right time where some people, there's other events. So, but within a few weeks proximity, and so people that need to just drive, anywhere between 4 and 6 hours or so to get there can do it pretty easily. And I know for a fact there's a handful that are driving from even further than that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we'd like to change about Great Lakes Meet, is make it a bigger thing and less of a regional thing, and make it a destination, because this is a beautiful area up here, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. The whole Great Lakes area is just gorgeous. It's a great place to visit. It's not always as cold as it's rumored to be up here in the Great White North. Yesterday was 95 degrees and 85% humidity. It was just miserable. So days are beautiful.
Yeah, there's a reason why you don't hold the Great Lakes meet in January.
Exactly right.
Well, let's get into it, man. This weekend, I know you guys have things planned for not only Saturday with the big event, but you got a Friday night meet and greet. Let's just go right through the schedule. Anybody that's going to show up on Friday there, what's the plan of attack?
All right, so our event actually kind of starts on Thursday. It's not officially part of the event. It's not officially a chapter thing, but our co-captain Jake is getting married this weekend to his lovely fiancée Chelsea, who's also a villainette. So there are a number of people coming in Thursday to attend. Jake's hanging out with some of the guys. Chelsea's doing a girls' night at her place with a lot of the villainette girls. So it actually kind of kicks off then, and they're going to get married Friday morning. They had wedding plans anyway, and we tried to schedule around their wedding, and they said, you know what, screw it. This is our family, so let's do it right on the same weekend. So kind of starts off pre-gaming a little early, and then we have our meet and greet on Friday afternoon, place called the Muddy Cow in Oak Park Heights. And I think people are going to start showing up there about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we'll just roll that into the event on Saturday.
All right. So then everybody's going to wake up, hopefully not too hungover, Saturday. And when does everything kick off, and where is all that stuff kicking off at on Saturday?
Okay, so Saturday's event is at Liftbridge Brewery, as you said, in Stillwater. Stillwater is a beautiful town right on the Mississippi River, on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin. So it's a small local brewery, and they were nice enough to co-host the event and let us use the space and provide some of the things for us. So registration for the beard comp kicks off at 2 o'clock. We'll do registration from 2 to 4, and then we'll do the event from 4 to, whenever. We're estimating about 7-ish. And then after that, we'll have a silent auction. We got a lot of great donated stuff, a lot of custom one-off stuff. We have some BV collectible stuff from around the world, around the country, and some handmade, homemade, crafted things from some of our members, and yeah, it's a lot of great auction items, and all our proceeds from everything is going to go to the Minnesota DAV, Disabled American Veterans.
Oh, very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Love anything veteran charities is awesome.
Yeah, we have a veteran chapter. I think 4 or 5 vets now in our chapter. So.
Wow, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So then you said the registration will start about 2, and then
Yep.
so it's a 2-hour registration window. So if you're wishy-washy about it, that gives 2 hours to coax somebody into it to say, hey, no. You're not
Exactly.
you need to be a
Exactly.
part of this thing here. All right. That's good.
If you're a part of BV, you got a certain amount of charisma, and you got that in you. You can get up there and put your face in front of your brothers. It shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you guys have did you have to go, hard to find some judges specifically for this event?
Not really. Our judges, we have 2 barbers from the Twin Cities metro area. We have John G., who owns a barbershop, and we have James, who is former owner of that same barbershop. James is a pretty accomplished barber and beard artist. He cuts a lot of our guys. He cuts a lot of the guys in the Minneapolis Beard and Mustache Coalition, I think it's called. A lot of those competitors. And then we also have a female judge, and she is a stylist who owns a salon, also in the Twin Cities area.
Wow, awesome. So people who
Yeah.
know hair. That's great. People who know facial hair even.
Absolutely.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so do you know? I may be throwing you to the wind a little bit here. Do you know, for anybody that's listening and is kind of unsure where they fit into the criteria, because this will be airing on Thursday night, so maybe
Sure.
somebody's listening to it beforehand. What do you have the category breakdown by chance?
I do. I think we have 8 categories. We have.
Oh.
I got to check my notes.
See, there you go.
We have natural beard 12 and over. We have a 9 to 12 inch category, 6 to 9, and then 6 and under. We're going to do business beard. We're going to do styled mustache. We're going to do creative beard or freestyle. And then we have kids creative and whiskerina categories also.
Wow.
So we're trying to hit a little bit of everything.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so just out of curiosity, what's your breakdown between you have a 6 and under? Well, I guess it depends if you go like 0 to 6 or whatever it is, but under 6, and then you have a business beard. So what's the break off between the business beard and the under 6?
You might be putting me on the spot with that one. We might have to talk about that one before.
I just thought I'd stick it in your ear a little bit so you have it, so you're thinking ahead, because somebody's gonna test your boundaries there with that one. You know how it is. Somebody's always gonna walk in there with like a 2-inch beard and be like, "No, I'm business beard. No, I'm," So get your wheels spinning a little bit early on that one.
That might be a topic of conversation later tonight.
That's good. Anything I can do to help, of course. I'm all about the help. So
Thank you.
Well, man, I'm excited for you. It's a really cool idea, the way that you're breaking everything down, and being that it's in a really picturesque area. I've seen some pictures back when I was still trying to decide if I was going to be able to make it or not, and still right now to the time we're recording this, still up in the air. But I looked at some photos of the area. I was like, man, that's kind of beautiful area up there. So, hey,
There are plenty of places for photo ops. There's a lot of good food. We have a number of food trucks coming to the event, so some different options there. I know there's at least one taco truck. So if that doesn't get you to town,
there you go.
I don't know what.
Yeah, you got to have tacos when you're up there. Well, Weirdo, man, I'm excited. I can't wait to see, all the stuff that comes from this, because I know you guys have some cool custom trophies you've kind of snuck out and showed some pictures of in the chat of what to expect.
The trophies are my baby. I'm hand making all the trophies, and we decided to go with a fish theme. So each category is a different species of fish.
Oh, cool!
And they're all indigenous to the Great Lakes region. So it's fish that you're going to find in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan lakes, and the Great Lakes. So, and they're kind of based on the size of the fish, kind of correlates with the length of the beard. So, what I put a sneak peek out on, that's our first place 12-inch and over, and that's the muskie, the big beast of Minnesota lakes. So.
Well, that's so cool. That's a great idea. I love that, and I love the creativity that you're going to be putting in behind those too. That's
I appreciate it.
You got to make sure you get a photo of all the trophies together. They're just sitting there for everybody before anybody wins them. That'd be
Once
really
we
cool.
have them.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. I'm really still hoping I can make it. But if for some reason I can't, I'm sure you're going to be sharing a bunch of pictures and videos from the weekend. But first of all, thanks so much for you guys hosting it. I know it's kind of a crapshoot when you decide that you're going to host one of these traveling events. So
Sure.
you have to announce and say you're going to do it, and then the work comes. Then you go, okay,
right.
Now how are we going to do it? So I'm excited for you. It's this is I think for some people it's going to be their first kind of experience coming into your chapter and being a part of stuff with your chapter too. So that's always a really cool way to announce yourself to those that don't know you. So
yeah, absolutely. We're very excited about the opportunity to host. We started working on this. We were supposed to host in 2020, and of course, COVID sidelined it for 2 years. So we've had a couple years to think about stuff, and plans have changed. But we're very excited to be hosting, and if nobody wants to take it on in the future, we're more than happy to, because we love this.
yeah,
we love this.
Oh man, I'm excited for you. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, man. We could talk for hours. I know. Hopefully, we can sit around a fire or some chairs or whatever this weekend if I can get up there. But
absolutely, I know you're a whiskey guy, and I'm going to have the flask topped off, and we'll definitely pass that around if you're able to make it.
All right, that sounds great, man. You may have just sold me. No, I was still trying already anyway. But
I'm gonna get one of the big Costco bottles.
All right, there we go. How about one of those big ones they give you in Vegas that's like this big? It's like 18, 20 inches tall. Completely impractical for anything other than water, but hey. All right, buddy. Well, I'll talk to you soon if I don't see you this weekend, buddy. Take care and have a great weekend.
I appreciate you having me on and for everything you do for BB.
My pleasure, buddy. My pleasure. I will talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
All right, see you. All right, Weirdo. He's not that weird, but kind of a kick-ass name, right? Thanks so much for taking the time out with me to talk about the weekend. And as I said before, I'm super stoked because now I am going for sure. And I'm excited. How cool is the idea that they've come up with for the trophies for the event, where they're basing each one of the trophies. They could have gone the easy way out, right? But each one of the trophies for the different categories, and you heard him say there's several categories, and each one's going to have a different fish on the backboard. And if you didn't see them, it's basically what a mounted fish would look like on a plaque. And it looks like it's all wood. I saw the one that he was referring to, but each one's going to have a different fish, a different length fish, a different species depending on the size and depending on the size of the beard. And very cool idea. So I look forward to seeing those trophies all together, see what they've come up with for the different varieties of beard categories. But yes, Great Lakes Meet is going to be a fun time, and I will be there this weekend. Cannot wait. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo, beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. Okay, so we're going to slide right into our calendar of events as we usually do about this time here. And we've got a few things that are kicking off of recent days. And I just literally, like during that interview playback, got another one that I'll have to add to the list, just in case anybody wants to be down in the Florida area in July. But we're gonna just kick into our calendar of events and see what we got going here. All right, so let's kick it off. We've already passed the weekend of June 10th through the 12th, where we had 3 huge meets going on. This weekend, June 17th and 18th. June 17th and 18th, the Great Lakes Meet in Minnesota, hosted by BV Minnesota in Stillwater, Minnesota. We heard it talked about here just a few minutes ago. They have a Friday night meet and greet, Saturday beard competition, all for the disabled American veterans. Then we get a couple weeks off, looks like. We get a couple weeks off after that, before anything that I have on my list anyway, with the exception of the one that was just given to me about 5 minutes ago. Well, actually, I'm sorry, that's in July, so no, you did get a couple weeks off. So take some time with your family. Then we get into July. In July, we have, starting off the 8th through the 10th, July 8th through the 10th, Beards for Bucko. Beards for Bucko. It's an awesome event. I've heard so much about it, and I can't wait because I will get to be there this year. Beards for Bucko, hosted by the Bearded Villains in Toronto, OSW, and Lakeshore. If you are considering possibly going to this is up in Fort Erie, Ontario. If you're possibly thinking about going to this, see if you can get jumped into the line chat for this, because, or at least follow Bucko or any one of those 3 chapters online, because they're doing some really cool, very unique and cool things with this event. There's going to be a sash like the old Scouts used to have, and they're gonna reward people with badges for doing different tasks throughout the weekend. It looks really cool. So Beards for Bucko, July 8th through the 10th, hosted by BV Toronto, OSW, and Lakeshore. Then that same weekend, the Blackshire Villains are hosting Ram Fest. That's right, Ram Fest, July 9th, hosted by the Blackshire Villains. I don't have any more details on that, so Blackshire boys, somebody send me some info so I can share it with the world. Ram Fest, July 9th. Then July 16th, I have Beards and Brews. Beards and Brews. The ENC boys are hosting their 5-year anniversary party. Beards and Brews. 5-year anniversary party for ENC. Then the weekend of July 22nd, 23rd, there's a couple of things. One of which was just given to me. July 23rd, the First Coast Villains celebrate their 5-year anniversary with a party in St. Augustine, Florida, which is my favorite city in the world that I've been to anyway. There's a whole bunch of others I know, but the non-traveled person in me, that's my favorite city in the world that I've been to, St. Augustine. That's where the First Coast Villains are celebrating their 5-year anniversary, July 23rd. That same weekend, remember, is the Dog Days of Summer. The Dog Days of Summer, hosted by the North Georgia Bearded Villains. There's a meet and greet on the 22nd, beard competition on the 23rd. I don't have a specific location on that one. So North Georgia boys, hit me up. And I will make sure I get further details on that one. I'm assuming, based off of the chapter, if my reasoning and deduction is correct, it's going to be somewhere in North Georgia. See what I did there? North Georgia. Anyway, hosted by the North Georgia Bearded Villains. Dog Days of Summer, July 22nd and 23rd. Then on the 31st is the Kingsbury Family Meet. The Kingsbury Family Meet, hosted by the Bearded Villains of Central England. The Kingsbury Family Meet, July 31st. That brings us to August and to the World Meet. The World Meet, August 5th through the 7th, Chicago, Illinois, hosted by the BBC Boys, the Bearded Villains of Chicago. They've been planning this thing for so long. It's almost going to be, after it's all done, these guys are going to be like breathing a sigh of relief, but also maybe just a little bit of a letdown of energy, right? Because they've been planning this thing for so long. The World Meet in Chicago, finally here, August 5th through the 7th. In September, we have 2 events the same weekend, that first week, full week of September 9th through the 11th. September 9th through the 11th. The first one is Battle of the Beards in Evansville, Indiana, hosted by the Southern Indiana Villains. Always a great time for veterans' causes. September 9th through the 11th, Battle of the Beards in Evansville, Indiana. That same weekend, the Four Corners Meet. Cortez, Colorado. Find your geography book to figure out where the Four Corners Meet is. It's in the Four Corners. Do your geography lesson. September 9th through the 11th, the Four Corners Meet. That is a meet for brothers only, by the way. So don't bring anybody else other than brothers. September 23rd to the 25th is the ECM, East Coast Meet, hosted by the SOMD Boys, Southern Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland. Always a great time. ECM. Further details forthcoming, we'll just say. ECM, September 23rd to the 25th. Then October, do my math backwards, I believe the 16th, Rocket City Boys are having their Halloween Bash. October 16th, if I'm not mistaken. Halloween Bash. Don't have all the details on that yet, but remember, it's a costume contest and beard competition that they have down in Alabama. If you're nearby, go to it. I heard it was a blast last year. That same type of event is going to be available again the following week up here in northern Indiana, October 22nd. October 22nd, the return of Ezra Crow. The return of Ezra Crow. My chapter, Bearded Villains, Northern Indiana, is hosting Return of Ezra Crow. We've got some really cool stuff planned for that thing. It's going to be October 22nd. Stay tuned for details. Beard competition and costume contest. And boys and girls, that's what I've got so far for the calendar of events right now. If I'm missing your event, please reach out, let me know, give me a shout out, and I'll make sure I get it on the list. Sometimes if you give me something day of, I don't have time to find it and get it on there. But rest assured, send me a reminder and I'll make sure I get it on there for sure. All right. Well, you know what? It's been a fun evening, guys. Taking care of a lot of business here, congratulating, talking about some of the charity stuff that we're doing, keeping in mind that even the tiniest of events that we're doing for charity can make a huge difference. So don't belittle them, don't minimize them. Get out there, do them, and share them with us. Tell everybody about what your chapters are doing. You never know where it's going to reach. Never know. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to do it. That's going to wrap up episode 139 of The Heart of a Villain. Remember, you can still buy those shirts, patches, pins, all that good stuff at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com, theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. It's where you can listen to all previous 138 of these here episodes as well. That's a lot. Hey, some are good. Some not so much. But hey, it's all part of it, right? It's all part of it. Guys, I want to remind you to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. The most important words I say every week, guys. Please remember, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So guys, have a great Thursday night. Have a great Friday. If you're traveling this weekend, Great Lakes meet or otherwise, be safe out there. Have a great weekend. I will see you back here next Thursday night for episode 140. Until then, take care. Stay safe.